Aha, me hearties! A very good evening to you. 'Tis me, Scottie McClue. We are, of course, live on the big one, the Scottie McClue Internet Phone-In, the People's Show, live on Saturday evening. 1 hour of superb, scintillating information, education, and entertainment, not just for one nation, but for all nations. And we are live right now. Lovely to have you with us. And a big dinky-do, I say. Do come and join us. Now then, we're also going out on YouTube and on TikTok tonight as per. So that should be rather good, I think. So there we are. Fantastic stuff. And our beautiful TikTokers are just joining us right now as we speak. Welcome to our beautiful TikTokers and welcome to our beautiful YouTubers. So lovely to have you all with us tonight. And dinky-do. The telephone lines are being opened as we speak, and a lot to discuss. Now, one of the things I'd like to discuss is the political setup in the United Kingdom at the moment. Do you think it's going to continue as is for any great length of time, or do you think there will be major changes in personnel? So there we are. So you can tell us what you think about that one. Very, very important. And also, will you be putting your power off this winter? Can we survive without energy or with very, very little energy? They're giving us the impression they would quite like gas and electricity to be conserved. So can we get back to conservation, I ask you? Tell us there. There's Dougie says, hi, Scottie. Hi, Dougie. Kirsty says, hello, Scottie. Hello, Kirsty. Lovely to have you with us on the old YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Scottie. Hi, Susan. And a big dinky-do. We'll get sharing as soon as we possibly can. Now then, come and join us on the TikTok. Let us know what's what. Follow us. Scottie and McClue's Pies staying at £1 per slice. Yes, what we're doing, John, vegetarian lattice slice in a rich chicken sauce. So that's rather good, isn't it? Scottie, can you give my wife Lindsay a shout out? She loves you. Of course I can, Chick. Dinky-do to Lindsay from Chick and Scottie McClue. That's what it's all about. Wonderful. Now, who have we got here? Hannah will have to say bye to you, I'm afraid, because we don't do the coarseness and the crudeness on here. So we'll just say bye to Hannah early on, and that's her gone. There's always a wee troll now and again, and we like them straight down the Swanee with the trolls, I say. Tried calling Scottie. Hi, Glenn. Haven't opened the lines yet. We were just doing our main subjects for discussion tonight. Forget about going green, a waste of time and money. Live for today. Do you know, Gary, that's actually a very interesting philosophy. This green thing is costing us, and obviously Brexit was incredibly expensive. 250 billion quid for no reason at all. So there we are. So excellent. Lovely to have you with us, and a big dinky-do. Thank you very much, Mr. Bora, for following us. That's so very kind of you. Get following Scottie McClue as soon as you possibly can. Hello, Scottie. I haven't seen you for a while, says JP. Well, you're seeing me now, as they say. And that's what it's all about. Hello, Scottie. Hello, no name. I've been here since 9 o'clock sharp, Scottie. You must have been late numpty-head because I didn't see you. And I arrived, obviously, just before 9. Scottie, there's an orb behind you. Did somebody recently pass? No, I think it will be a light, although, yes, somebody has recently passed. There's no doubt about that. I think it was Her Majesty, the Queen, has passed recently, but you'll have heard about that. Hi, Scottie. How the devil are you, says Chewy. Opinions on Liz Truss. Well, Callum, we don't single out politicians, but I think probably the best thing to do with Liz Truss would be to ignore her. There we are. But I mean, because she is the UK Prime Minister, it might be quite difficult to actually do that. Hello, Scottie. Hope you're well and having a wonderful day, pal. Thank you, Sir Bacon. Very good to have you with us. And dinky-do, Jeff has just joined us. Guys, if you haven't followed Scottie McClue, get following as soon as you can. Hello, Scottie, says Joe from Missouri in the USA. Joe, you all have a nice day in Missouri there. How lovely to have you with us. Scottie, why have you ignored my line of inquiry? I don't think I have, Dylan. I'll have a look back and see what your line of inquiry is. DINKY-DOO, Scottie. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the phone lines and the telephone number 0141 628 9795. 0141 628 9795. Get yourselves on there and let's hear from you as soon as we possibly can. Now then, let's just pop that away there. There we are. Green is for later, not now, says Dougie. DINKY-DOO, Scottie. Hi, Scottie. Will you be turning the heating off? Well, the heating's not on at the moment. The longest I've lasted with no heating was the 29th of November. Now, I'm not advocating you try that at home now, because I accept that's a big one. Independence says, who's saying independence? Hang on. Oh, Witchfinder General. Yes, Witchfinder General. Independence under the crown. You need to include the monarchy or independence is toast. No point in shouting independence without shouting God save the king. Absolutely. Can we justify the thousands of pounds in the monarchy? Jeff, the monarchy is virtually self-financing. So we can always justify the monarchy. You're attacking, far be it, the wrong person. You know, the monarchy is apolitical. And the money comes from the duchies. So it's virtually self-financing. So the monarchy brings money in. So there's no justification required. Absolutely. So there you go, Jeff. So you need to start changing your thinking, my boy. Hi from Greenock, says the wonderful David. DINKY-DOO, David. And hi to Greenock, the green oak tree. How are you, my man? Says Haldy. DINKY-DOO, Haldy, good to have you with us. Scottie, what do you think of the cost of living crisis? I think it's shocking, Dylan. Shocking. It's a direct result of Brexit. That's the elephant in the room. Yes, you can no doubt blame. You can blame other factors, pandemics, and wars and all that stuff. But Brexit's the baddie. That's what's put us into the shecht. Are the lines open? They should be, Glenn. Give us a call and we'll have some chat. That would be very, very important. Très important, as they say. So get on there and give us a call. Very good. Now, what do we got here? No wonder, Scottie, my heating's off too. Yes, indeed. There's Ali. Good evening from Bowmore in Isla. Cabrahu, ma cabraha maha. Hakama, falchi ki de mille falchi. Don the TikTok. I guess Scottish McClue. I guess YouTube. Don Isla. There we are. What do you think of the Chancellor saying we're in the because we paid for HRH funeral? Don't know what you mean by that one, Joan. So there we have it. You know, I mean, it's all the money's there. I think we can afford the Queen a decent burial. There we go. Now, what do we got here? Well, user 510, we would never, ever, ever comment on that because that is going as it is. Right, off to the telephones, you lot. 0141 628 9795. Main subjects for discussion. Will you manage to do without power this winter to get the bills right down as low as we possibly can? And how much power can we do without? Very, very important. And also the present United Kingdom government, how long do you give them in office going on their record to date? There we are. Now, what have we got? I would disagree, Scottie. One would have reasonable evidence that the taxpayer funds the percentage. No, Dylan, I can tell you exactly. One doesn't need reasonable evidence. Let's deal in the facts. You've got a tiny security bill. The whole thing comes in under 170 million. The last big money the monarchy brought in was 2 billion. and the self-financing comes both Dutches bring in around 20 million. So there we are. And Her Majesty the Queen paid 98 million in tax, and we were getting about 2/3 of her income was coming directly to the people, to the state. So all good stuff. So there's no disagreeing with the monarchy. Absolutely, it's good stuff, and it's probably our greatest asset. Dinky-Doo used to listen to you on Century Radio. Richard, Century Radio, the Northwest's finest hour. Or were you listening in the Midlands? Or were you listening in the Northeast? Because we used to join them together to make 9 million of a transmission survey area. Susan has just sent me £3. Susan, thank you so much. Susan sent me £3. Is that not beautiful? And I've set a very small goal tonight. It should be red roses, I think. Let me see. There should be a small goal of red roses. There we are. And if somebody likes to give me a red rose, that would be lovely. If it's not red roses, then we'll reset it at red roses. That's what we will do. Oh, it's needing sorted here. Hang on. I'm just going to edit the goal, guys. I thought it was edited. So we're looking for red roses. And how many are we looking for? Would you say, how many red roses do you think we could have? Will we go for 500 and see if we get anything like that? We don't like to be greedy. We're not greedy people, you see. I think that's very important. So that should be all right, guys. So we should now be looking for around 500 red roses on the TikTok. Is that okay with you? Susan, thank you so much for my £3. There we are. Robert, the wonderful Robert Scrimger, one of the most intelligent people in the world. Scotty, what have you to remember, Scotty, is in an independent republic, who would be your president? Republicans can't answer that. If it's a politician, politicians are granted enough power already. Well, we've got, we don't need a president because we've got a head of state. We've got King Charles, and that's absolutely brilliant. So there we have it. That's me just confirming everything. So guys, there we are. It should be 500 red roses. You'll see them right in the middle of my cap badge right now. There's a little goal. But remember, Scottie McClue is 100% free to every single one of you at the point of consumption and enjoyment. Jennifer has sent me a red rose. I thank you. Dinky-Doo, Scotty, you are my friend. Dinky-Doo from North Carolina. Can you say hi to my daughter? I can, yes. Here's a call coming in. There's a call coming in. Hello? Oh, they must have gone. Give us a ring back if you're coming in and we can chit-chat, I say to you. Very, very important. Wonderful. Glenn, I thought you were going to phone. So there you are. And then we can take your call and we can chit-chat. How fantastic is that? Do you know what a zephyr is, Scotty? I'm thinking of that wonderful old Irish tenor singer, John McCormick. I dream of Jeannie. I dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair, floating like a zephyr on the soft summer air. So zephyr, is it like a tiny spirit or a tornado? Who's calling? Hang on. Whoa, you're live at Scotty's phone in, is that?
Dinky-Doo, Scotty, how you doing?
Hey, Glenn, Dinky-Doo, are we all right? Oops.
Yeah, I'm not so bad.
Cameraman.
I went to Twitchers at first trying to get through to you and just ringing and ringing to me.
Ringing and ringing. Well, I think there's been a few ringing tonight, Glenn, and it was just the luck of the draw, but we've got you, and that's what matters.
Yeah. Scotty, do you ever go on Alex's phone-ins? What's his name? Alex, who used to say Dinky-Doo, Scotty?
Alex?
You know, Alex, who used to impersonate your slogan, Scotty? YouTuber.
Oh, a YouTuber guy. No, I once phoned him, but I believe he's indisposed now.
What's his name, Scotty? Alex what?
Don't know. We'll not discuss other phone-ins, Glenn. Not of any interest to anybody.
There's no point looking people like him up, really, is this Scotty, to be fair?
No, nobody can impersonate Scottie McClue, and I'll tell you why. Because they don't know what's coming next. And I'll let you into another secret. I'll let you into a secret. The reason they don't know what's coming next and never ever can is A, they're not in my head, and B, I don't know what's coming next.
Did you not take it as a compliment then at that time then? When you
well, I mean, they used to say that well, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I'm not impressed with so-called so-called entertainers that can't make up their own banter.
So, like you said, things have been dethroned, haven't they, since then, haven't they, from him?
Yeah. I think
like I said, I saw something recently online about something that happened, but we'll not go into that.
No, we're not. We're not interested. This is our show. This is the people's show. This is not anyone else's show. I just happen to front it.
If people want to get thrown offline for doing what they've done, that's their own fault, isn't it?
That's their own fault. It's nothing to do with us. I can tell you.
You've still got a duty when you're online, though. You've still got to abide by certain rules, aren't you, Scotty?
Well, I like to make up a set of rules so that we've got taste and decency. I don't hold with bad language. I don't hold with second names. I don't hold with slagging people off. All that kind of thing.
Even as a broadcaster, Scotty, you've still got to abide by rules, though, ain't you?
Oh, I think very much so. Of course you have, and I never ever broke any rules to my knowledge.
Of course not. No, I'm not saying you personally, but I'm just saying this who do go wayside, isn't they? That just don't commit to. It's not professional, is it?
Well, no, I think if you're playing a professional game, you play by the rules.
I mean, you've been in trade long enough, you've been in business long enough to know, from radio to doing what you're doing now, you're wise enough to know that you can't get everything easy if you don't commit, can you?
No, I mean, I don't have millions of, well, I was going to say I don't have millions of people, but I actually have 42.6 million. So that's not bad.
If you're fair to people, they'll be fair to you.
Listen, look after the people, give them what they want, they'll reward you with their listenership and viewership.
Scotty, but moving on to a serious note.
Right, just before you do that, can I tell you that Jeff, Scotty, you're my friend DINKY-DOO from North Carolina. Can you say hi to my daughter, Anna? So we say hi to Anna in North Carolina.
Energy costs at minute, Scotty. What do you reckon to it?
Well, they've obviously put in place something because they didn't want to lose every single vote and get dumped out of office. So they've put something in place. But this is giving us back our own money, remember. And if they shove up the rents and the mortgages, it won't make any difference. There's no point in getting 400 quid or 600 quid to help with your energy bills if they're going to stick that every month on somebody's mortgage.
Are we not gaining then that way, Scotty? Are we not gaining money? Are we not gaining?
No. You're getting your own money back. Governments don't have any money. They've only got what they take from the people via taxes.
Yeah.
Right? And then they decide how to spend that. And if they're saying, look, we'll give you a little bit of your own money back here to help with your electricity bill.
It's an illusion, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course, it's an illusion, but the whole thing's an illusion.
It's the whole thing stinks in a way, Scotty, doesn't it? To be fair.
Well, of course it does. It always has, because it's just a way of using the people, a way of enslaving the people, if you like. But if you get a people's government that says, right, well, let's give a little bit more back so that people, they only get the one life on earth, as far as we know. Let's make it half decent for them rather than just a pile of shit.
And how do we get, Scotty, and how do we get that back then?
Well, the way to get that back, I suppose, would be to vote in a government that were promising, absolutely promising, you know, a touch more of the land of milk and honey, rather than saying every year that we're in, you will suffer a bit more. We will tighten the thumb screws. You've got to remember the present mob have been in for 12 years.
Do you think any other parties will stand a chance then? Do you reckon their legislation?
Well, they might do, but they need to get their act together. You see, what Mr. Blair did, and it was very clever of him, he said, look, we are a socialist party. We are the party of the people, but we need to go much further to the right or we will be unelectable, because this country, the media barons and the business people, the big business, which runs everything, they panic if they see left-wing people getting in.
And they're taking people for mugs, really, aren't they, at the minute?
Well, of course they are, yes, absolutely.
I mean, I think people are being took by literally by the short and curly, Scottish, aren't they?
Very much so at the moment. So this government, if they want to last for any length of time, need to start seriously getting their act together.
Would people want to be living with no gas or electric though, Scotty, regardless of what?
Well, not live with none, but tiny bits. I mean, we need to do things like, especially at the moment, we need to charge our phones and our PCs.
More often or less often?
No, not necessarily more often. I mean, we could ration it, but they do need to be charged. We need probably fridges running. Yeah. We depend, a gas cooker very often depends on a piezo spark to ignite it. But we could do that with the old, remember the old batteries, you pressed a wee button and put it to it. Or matches, we could do that with a box of matches.
In some old cookers, Scotty, there used to be a big fat battery at the bottom, didn't there?
Did there? I can't remember. They started bringing in cooker lights for the oven and things.
You know where you put the battery in the bottom and you ignite it, kind of thing, from the bottom, you know, for the flex.
Oh no, that one. Oh yeah, I know that one. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, the lighter.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so you might need to go to lighters if you don't want electricity, but then you also have we got enough cold to keep the milk fresh? You see? So there's that. Now also we can put on several layers of jumpers and boots and a hat and scarf and coat, and we might have to sit in the house with that.
Instead of having gas on then, Scotty. Instead of having radiators.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, the only thing is, people like yourself have to watch because you've got a wee one.
Yeah.
And that wee one needs to be warm and safe.
Exactly.
You know, so there's that to be thought about. You know, and lots of people have got little ones, you know, and they need to do that. And pensioners, their blood's getting thin, but I'm sure if you get the Scottie McClue mitts on and the scarf and the hat and get wrapped up really warm, we could certainly be saving a good bit.
So basically just limit it then, basically.
Limit it, yeah, absolutely. But have warm clothing. So we wear stuff inside, you know, big jackets and waistcoats and cardies.
Still goes a bug in a rug kind of thing, Scotty, in a dressing gown.
Yeah, dressing gown at night, slippers, hot water bottle.
There's nothing wrong with that, though, is there, to be fair?
Of course there's nothing wrong with it. Lots of people live like that. My grandfather, right, the house didn't have any central heating, but there were fires in every room, and he used to light them all when we went round. And he had paraffin lamps that heated his room and lit it. And you'd be amazed what you can see with a candle.
Brilliant.
You know? And then he also had a stone pig in his bed. It was called a pig, and it was a hot water bottle.
Fantastic. Those were special times, though, Scotty, weren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, we need to get back to that, Glenn. Listen, La, I'm going to have to dash, but you take care.
Scotty, people don't appreciate what they've got, though.
No, they need to start not wanting something other than what they've actually got.
Creature comforts in it and all that.
Creature comforts. You've got to, what actually matters.
Yeah, exactly. What's close to your heart and all that, and looking out for each other. What's true to yourself.
Now you're talking. Nice one, Glenn. I better dash, La. You take care.
Scotty, anyway.
Hey, Dinky-Doo. See you, La. That's our Glenn, top man, fantastic stuff. To the telephones, folks, 0141 628 9795. Talk direct to Scottie McClue, live on the internet. Wonderful stuff. Who have we got here? You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, it's Kareem, Scottie.
Ah, Kareem DINKY-DOO. How are you, La?
I'm well, Scottie. You?
Yes, very well indeed. Fantastic show tonight.
Yes, I got a late notification on it, but as soon as I got it, I came on and I heard Glenn there speaking.
Yep, absolutely. So there we are. We are laughing, and we're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube.
Absolutely brilliant, Scottie. It's the time of things that we all enjoy.
Absolutely, and as I say, 42.6 million has seen us, so I'm happy.
Scottie, congratulations on the number of people that have witnessed.
You know, it's amazing. You look, you see fairly small figures, but it obviously all adds up, and that's the official figures.
I've seen the figures, Scottie, and I am so proud.
Congratulations. You can look them up on the internet. So you see, although you and I are talking live just now, we've got a good, healthy audience watching right now, but that will go up there and go on and on and on into the ether.
Absolutely. Oh, Scottie, it's really good, and may it continue, and it will continue.
Absolutely, and that's why I do it. I love the concept of the People's Show, and I love the fact that we can get on and get talking around the world.
Well, Scottie, I'll flick tonight, but I know I've been ill this week, so I've been, as you know, I've been DQ1 for a quick pop-up on, I think it was Wednesday, and a viral infection, but I'm on the mend now. I've been doing a lot of reading, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked at the fact that when we're looking at the latest polls for independence, it's still neck and neck.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember that the Queen has just passed away. We've got a king. We have a new king. And also a lot of the unionists tend to think that, unionism and monarchy go together. And we need to dispel that myth because you don't want to lose 50%. So we need to get all the independence people 100% behind the monarchy.
Scottie, I'm confident that is the case, and it will be the case. And what's good, the SNP has made that very clear that the monarchy will be going nowhere.
Yes.
You know, one of my friends who sometimes listens to this show, I used to work with in a supermarket when I was a student, he is an absolute unionist, and everything is always God save the Queen, and then ridicules everything else.
Nothing wrong with that as long as he realizes we can be independent under the crown.
I said that, and I said God save the King and an independent Scotland leading the way, and he wasn't too keen on that. And then it just all comes down to, and I think it does come down to hatred. A lot of these people, Scottie, do not like Nicola Sturgeon or her predecessor, which was Alex Salmond, and I understand that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, when you look what Westminster has done, what more? And this is why I get quite angry, but I'm passionate about. What more can Westminster do to Scotland for us to vote yes? We have had everything thrown us apart from the kitchen sink, and we're still coming back for more.
Well, Westminster's done nothing but rob Scotland blind for 313 years. Right? So there's no case for the union. There is no economic case for the union. Now, if you actually take a look, it doesn't boil down. Independence is much bigger than individuals. But if you want to keep your mind focused on individuals, and the monarchy is much bigger than individuals as well, it is the crown. If you look at independence being the absolute goal, then who would you trust more, Nicola Sturgeon or Liz Truss? Who would you trust more to run Scotland?
The people of Scotland have voted the SNP in, and SNP will not be in power forever. And if we have independence, Scotty, then it's more localised and it's for the people. At the end of the day, the United Kingdom is conservative. If you look back in history, Tories have won more general elections over Labour. Now, I do believe Keir Starmer will win the next general election, but he will not get a second term in. And you're 100% correct when you said to Glenn, the media are all for the Conservatives. The people that own the media are Tories themselves. They will not want people that are left-wing or left-centre running the country. There's no way they would allow that to happen. So I think people here have to wake up. It's like, and I mean, no apology what I'm going to say, Scotty, if you look at domestic abuse, always come back for more and more because they don't know what else is out there. And I make that very clear towards Scotland. Whatever Westminster does to Scotland, for some reason we keep coming back for more and more. Or people are dying of drugs, or people are going to be cold this winter, or people have increased food banks because of Westminster. But yet we still come back for more and more and more. And I am absolutely gobsmacked that so many people still want to be part of a broken system.
Well, absolutely. Now, that's a very strong point you made. You don't need to make any apology for it because it's actually an incredible analogy. And what I would say to you, 2 points from what you raised there. One, Scotland used to have its own media. It had several Scottish newspapers. It had several Scottish radio stations, and it had, the BBC's always been a bit of an opt-out, if you know what I mean. But there's the capacity there for Scotland to have its own media. Now, whatever happens until there is control of the media in Scotland, you had 3 television stations, independent stations covering Scotland, and the BBC. Now, until they actually get their own media, Scotland won't be able to report what it needs to report. So there needs to be serious. I mean, we were very lucky. One of the radio stations was run by a gentleman who quite publicly had Labour sympathies. You see? So it's a different thing because radio is very much a people's medium. That's why Scottie McClue came to such prominence, because genuinely we were for the people. You know, so.
What you do educate, you do tell people, and the information is out there. But what also annoys me so much is there's so many people that just cannot get their finger out from below and do the research, look around, find out what's actually happening instead of being, I'm all right, Jack, until something happens to me and demand. Now, before I go, Scotty, they are now talking about blackouts this winter where
Yes.
we can have half an hour, 50 minutes with no electricity.
A piece of nonsense.
Could you imagine if that was the SNP and that was happening under Nicola Sturgeon's watch?
Yeah.
There would be absolute outcry. The media would go into meltdown. So why is it again acceptable for Westminster and the Tories to get away with things like this and Scotland just accept it as it is? It's not on, it has to change.
Why is it possible in this day and age to have fuel poverty in the Hebrides, which are sitting on, millions of tons of peat, are sitting probably on coal? There used to be a coal mine in Campbelltown, or nearer Southend, I should say, nearer Drumlemble. There's oil, there's gas, there's wind and wave. The people of the Outer Hebrides, Lewis, Harris, Uist, they should be awash with power. So there should be no excuse for these poor souls having to undergo fuel poverty. And any shortfall should be covered by central government.
Correct. Well, Scotty, we're paying more than our neighbours in the middle of England and down in London. Our daily charge for electricity and gas is nearly double for what the
a piece of nonsense. It's an absolute piece of nonsense, Kareem. And the sooner that gets sorted, and that's why I would urge everybody to look at independence under the Crown. Scotland running its own affairs. Because the problem is, we've now got several generations forward who actually have lived in a place for the purpose that place was built for. So if you lived in Oban, Campbelltown, Tarbert, Ardrishig, if you lived in Dunoon, all these places, the reasons for these places were fishing, tourism, travel, wood, logging, and then central Scotland, eastern Scotland, western Scotland, coal mining, the whole thing. So we need to get back to these places being what they were built for, or something new to replace it, rather than everybody struggling to get by on their own.
Before I go, Scotty, the last thing I'd like to say is, for us to move forward as a country, we have to, and I have the belief that there's so many people in this country who do not have the confidence that this country can self-determine. We have proved time after time with the limited resources that we have within the Scottish Parliament that we have outperformed our neighbours within England, Wales and Northern Ireland. What more do we have to show that we have full powers and potential that this country can bring to the people of this? Alas, the half people that are not waking up and more than happy to live in Westminster's crumbs, something has to happen, because bad things are going to be coming, and it's not always going to be, I'm all right, Jack, I'm looked after, I've got finances.
No, because nobody's going to be all right. These finances will get gobbled up. There's no need for inflation. There's no need to increase mortgages. There's no need for power poverty.
Yes. Well, that's, again, I've always said, people here want to learn things the hard way. They're going to have to, and they will after this term, and they will when the mortgages go up. They will when council tax, which has been frozen for 10 years, that they are still cheaper than our neighbours down south, believe it or not. There's a lot of things we take for granted up here, but we always seem to learn when it's the hard way, and then we wish it went back to the old ways. But Scotty, I'll leave you now.
Kareem,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Lovely to have your call, and DINKY-DOO.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now, La. Right, that's our Kareem. What a great call Kareem always is, I have to say. There we are. Now then, what have we got here? Check your spam, sir, for radio, says Sean McGuire. Right, Sean? No bother. Look, no, the Irish and the Northern looked after the gas. Interesting, Sean, all these things. Incredible stuff. There we are. We're live, sir. We are. Neil O'Gormley, good evening, Scotty. Good evening. How lovely to have you with us. And DINKY-DOO. What do we got here? We're notifying everybody that we're here. Play the Black Bear. So there we are. What utter crap, says John. Brexit, you cannot blame. You don't know what you're talking about, John. What do I not know what I'm talking about? I'm something of an expert on Brexit, right? 2 million of a majority robbed almost 70 million of their EU citizenship. All right, 52 countries, 510 million. Hello, you're live on Scottish Phone In. Who's that?
Hello, Scotty. It's Pablo DINKY-DOO.
Pablo DINKY-DOO, lovely to hear you. So there's a half-wit telling me I don't know what I'm talking about with Brexit. Brexit's cost us £250 billion for nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And we were sitting, Pablo, we were sitting happy as Larry, whoever Larry was, round the big table between our dear friends and allies, Germany and ourselves. We controlled 30% of the total market, 510 million people, 52 countries. Nothing. We've got nothing because of half-wits like John there telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. That'll be the day. If I didn't know what I was talking about, I would shut my gob.
Exactly. Scotty's not been going around for all these years for nothing.
I know, absolutely. Everybody in the UK, 2 billion people have heard of Scottie McClue. So there must be something.
Well, and the numbers are still rising, Scotty.
Absolutely, absolutely, Pablo. Now, my dear fellow, how are you? Because we got cut short last time.
Yeah, I'm doing quite well now, to be honest. I just finished my treatment about 2 weeks ago, so life's not too bad at the moment. Scotty.
You're a great man. You're a great man. Pablo, guys, is one of the bravest men on the planet. He's been to hell and back in terms of medical stuff and what have you, and he is incredibly stoic and bears it with remarkable fortitude. Would that be a fair comment, Pablo?
Well, that would be a great introduction, Scotty, to if I was a public figure or whatever.
You are a public figure. You're live on Scottie McClue's Phone-In.
Yeah. I'll have to grab that word for word, Scotty, for one day. Someone has to introduce me very big on the scene. I might just come alight and that might be the next Scottie McClue. Might learn a thing or two off you.
Well, remember that's just for starters. I could have said a lot more, but I didn't want to embarrass you.
Well, you know that, Scotty. Never-ending learning education with you, Scotty. It's always been that from the get-go. But while we're here, I've just been thinking while I've been listening, and I thought, we cannot be an advanced civilization because in all this time, we have still not found a way to heat our homes up naturally and put electric running through the houses. We are not living for living, we're living to survive. We go to war with one of each other for things that could be resolved by a handshake or whatever.
You are talking absolute sense. Absolute sense. War is where your politics have failed.
Yeah. You learned me about that, Scotty, when I asked you about why does the Queen not have much involvement, and you said when we go to war, it's because we've failed politically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a political failure. Of course it is. They can't get their act together. And really, I'm really unsure of this crowd we've got at the moment.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on, Scotty, but I'm not here to advocate anything, but I do think we're going to have some civil unrest very soon because we cannot go on as people. I mean, basically, what's going to happen in the next few months? Are people going to freeze to death?
What's the point in having a government if you've got a dreadful life?
Well, I don't know. It's just...
What's the point in having a government that makes the people suffer?
Well, exactly. It's almost like if I was an alien looking down on planet Earth, I would say, is this hell? Because we've just come out of the worst, pandemic for a very long time. Now we're in an economic crisis. People are going to war, and I would say, this is not much fun down here. I wouldn't want to be down here.
Absolutely. And that might be why they're looking at other planets.
Yeah. Well, beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. Absolutely. But I'm sure we can create a land of milk and honey together. It's going to be tough stuff. But, I don't think that we've got the people in charge that we need.
No, I don't. Scotty, what would you say to this? Right? You might even call it a conspiracy, but I don't know. People say that we have never got out of slave ship. They say that they just replaced the slaves with money.
Well, in actual fact, you haven't got out of slave. You see, the problem is, and this is unfashionable, because the slaves were very often regarded for their ethnicity. And it was the slaves' own people that were turning them to slavery.
Yeah.
And then everybody joined in. And so you had this trading in human beings. Now, you also had then huge commodities. For instance, Glasgow ran the tobacco. Bristol, I think, was involved in tobacco, cotton, all these things, tea, coffee, that involved plantations. and cheap labor. Let's not call it slave labor. Let's call it cheap labour, value labour. Now, at the same time, what didn't come under slavery was all the cotton mills in Lancashire, all the jute mills in Dundee. You see, all the mills in Yorkshire, all the industries doing wool, all the industries doing leather goods, British boots that were all being exported around the early 1800s. You see, so that.
Do you think this not opened the way where we're in today? Like, I'm not saying that picking cotton was like something our ancestors done for peanuts, but do you not think it opened the way to create this, not foundation, but where people work all their lives, get a little bit, give majority back in taxes? I do draw the line where people say people should have everything for free, we should be able to eat for free. I don't believe that, but I do think we should be getting a lot more free things.
Right, well, do you know what I will say? Nothing actually free. Somebody's paying for it somewhere. But do you know what I would say? I would say that even when people are earning a reasonable salary, I'll bet they've got virtually nothing left for them at the end of the month. But everybody else has been paid.
Well, that's it. So it always goes back, though, Scotty, to the government, because whatever you spend always has a tax. So when people say that the scroungers, I understand that they should get a job, but even when the scrounger gets his benefit money, buys a packet of cigarettes or a bottle of beer, whatever he chooses to spend his money lawfully, not like he did like on a dark web or whatever, just goes to the shop and buys his beer or his cigs, that money goes back in taxes, Scotty, so it's just one big wheel.
Oh, absolutely. So, no, listen, very tax effective, and also a government that's paying out benefits knows that it's getting people on the cheap, because it works out a budget and says, well, no, I mean, these people don't really cost as much at all. You say, what about the unemployed? No, they're not costing us too much at all. Or we know exactly what they're costing. I mean, in actual fact, the social welfare budget is massive. Do you know what I mean? It is absolutely massive. The defense budget is massive, you know, and we seem to be able to find billions to send in foreign aid, you know, from all that point of view. So there's a lot of questions needing answered. What's actually going on? You know. And as for slavery, there's another side. Sorry, Pablo, but there's another side to it. Once they freed all the slaves, these poor souls had nowhere to go and no income and no welfare.
Yeah, exactly. But what would you say to this? That people say prisons, there's so many prisons because they want people to go to prisons, because even though they're in prison locked up, they still do some kind of work and bring in some kind of money in, Scotty. What do you think about that? Or do you think that's just...
Say again, Pablo, the last bit.
Like with the prisons, there's a lot of prisons going around. Now, I watched somewhere where it said every person in the world, they know roughly what that person, from the day they're born to the day they die, based on where they're born, based on the family heritage or whatever the family's done, they can sort of predict what money they're going to bring into the world.
Pretty well.
Now, what do you think about the prison systems where people go to prison, but they also do stuff like, I don't know, work in the canteen or do something, and they're still bringing money in.
Yep, absolutely. If you could help alleviate the system and help to rehabilitate the prisoners by getting them doing as much work as possible inside.
Yeah, but are they not is it the word profiting by people being in prison is what I'm saying, Scotty?
Oh, listen, that's an industry as well. If everybody obeyed the law, we would lose a major industry.
And I didn't think of it like that. Yeah.
No, if everybody was 100% law-abiding, you wouldn't need the courts. Now, you take a look at a court building, and it's a pretty flash piece of architecture.
Absolutely. And think about how much the barristers charge and things like that.
And I can remember having a look round one down your way, and I said to one of the guys, I said, who actually financed all this in the early days? It's very swish. And he said, the fines. You know, so the baddies actually financed the courts. I'm going to have to dash, Pablo. Love you lots.
Okay, Scotty, mate. See you later, mate.
Dinky-Doo, la. Keep strong and well. That's what I say. From Salford there. Love this, gent. Thanks, Sean. One layer up. When I hear you, I know. You sound like a TV watcher, says Sean. Now, what have we got here? War is pointless. You sort of a gent. Thank you very much, Sean. You're very, very kind. Right, that's that. Good on. Professor Numpty says, good night, Susan. Good night, Kareem, even though I'm going nowhere, says Numpty Heed. Numpty Heed's going nowhere. We're very pleased to hear that, Numpty Heed. We haven't heard from you tonight. I would disagree. Finances aren't all being released from the royals. Well, Dylan, can I bring you back to my dear father? You can only wear one suit. And I can tell you, I can't think of anybody who would be climbing over you to get to the kingship. There we are. That is a tough gig. Scotty, who was it that sold the seabed to the monarchy? Well, no, the seabed was the Crown Estates. So I would imagine they just decided to take it as they did with the rest of the land at the time. Just became a top viewer. Absolutely. Carlisle FM days. Big 687. How marvelous. Lovely to hear from you. And Dinky-Doo. What's the point in bodies like Ofgem or petrol watchdogs existing if they can't do anything to control the price? Kalelio, that is a very, very, very good question. What is the point? And I thought that about Ofgem when I heard the prices were going up. They said, no, well, that's out with our jurisdiction. I thought, well, it shouldn't be. You should be controlling the price to the consumer. How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? Absolutely, Jeff. We are Dinky-Doo. Scotty McClue. If you've just joined us, folks, a very, very warm welcome. Saturday night, nothing gets past me. And here we are live with Scotty McClue's phone in The People's Show. The telephone number 0141 628 9795. 0141 628 9795. Now, I've been sent one red rose on TikTok. I set a little goal. Scotty McClue is 100% free, guys. If anybody's feeling generous, if anyone's feeling chuffed, and if you're enjoying the show, I set a little goal of red roses, and you'll see it up the top there. And somebody sent me one. Fantastic. Dinky-Doo. Now then, what's happening here? You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Well, Scotty, believe it or not, it's Numpty.
Numpty Heat, what on earth are you doing? I'm very glad you phoned. Why were you late tonight?
Your people and my people tell me that your people hadn't heard from my people, so I thought I better phone in.
Absolutely. My people need to hear from your people, and your people need to hear from my people.
I'm sure they've got so much to discuss.
And I need to hear from you occasionally just to see you're behaving yourself and not talking complete and utter nonsense.
And when have I ever been known to talk rubbish, Scotty?
Oh, Numpty, do not start me.
All right then.
Now then.
Because we've only got 5 minutes
Yes,
left.
yes, and that's your fault. Where were you at 9 o'clock tonight? Were you in the casino?
I was tuning in. I just got in with deal and we put the telly on, and there you were.
There I was, absolutely. Fantastic.
So anyway, Scotty, starting this week, I
Yes.
got my money for the electricity, how we're getting 6 months, £66 or something.
Yes, £66. Did you get it?
I got mine at the start of the week.
Wonderful. Did they put it into your bank?
No, it's actually credited to my electricity.
Oh, to your electricity account. I've got you now, right? Wonderful stuff. So that's good.
I didn't have to pay my bill.
No, but they're talking about putting up rents and mortgages.
But listen, Scotty, my electricity bill's only going to be about £30 a month. So what will I do with this extra £36?
Well, you could donate it to the Scottie McClue show.
Well, that's a good idea.
No, enough to heat. You take the missus out for a slap-up curry.
No, seriously, it was either that or drink it. What do you think's the best option?
Well, now, let me think. I'm not the best person to ask, you see, because I don't drink now.
Well, put it to the nation.
I'll put it to the nation. What should Numpty Heat do with the extra money?
Should I drink it or should I donate it to the phone in?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's what we're talking about there. Fantastic.
Well, Scotty, I'm going to get this for the next 6 months.
Oh, good. Oh, well, listen, I would save it up. Save it up and see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. But anyway, as I say, I've already had the first payment, and as I say, I don't care what to do with the extra because it's not needed.
Well, there we are. We shall see. It might be an idea to see if some close family member needs it.
No. Listen, Scotty. I've saved up, right?
Right.
What I mean by saving up the best till last.
Oh, yes, I see. Yes, absolutely. Yes, best till last.
You know, the good thing about it, Scotty.
Go on, surprise me.
I forgot what I phoned in about.
I never knew what you phoned in about, so I've no forgot.
It's amazing. All I was going to ask you, Scotty.
Ken.
This is it. It's a serious question, right?
Right.
So,
it's the first time for everything.
Apart from update, have you ever had a stalker in your life?
No.
That's good to get.
No. I used to have. I used to have sometimes those wee crowds outside the radio station just wanting an autograph or something, but no.
What about the trolls, Scotty? Have you ever had trolls?
Well, the trolls get sent down the Swanee, you see.
Well, you remember years ago before YouTube, we had these bulletin boards.
Yes, we used to have one. Scottie McClue had his own.
Ken, 6 million listeners.
Yep, all that. Wonderful.
But what I'm saying is, Scotty, years ago, people used to comment on the media, whether it was television, radio, they used to comment on presenters.
Yes.
And back then, there used to be a lot of trolls that used to slag off the presenters.
Yes, they did, absolutely.
I just wondered if you ever had any of that.
No, never had any of that. Well, oh yes, yes, I used to get slagged off, absolutely. There was one guy on a certain website trolled me for years.
Heavens above.
About how dreadful the show was and that, and the poor soul was just absolutely falling down green with envy. Because he wanted to be in radio.
He wanted to be in radio?
Yes, so it was really nothing to do with me. It was just he wanted to be in radio and I happened to be on radio.
Oh, there you are. So they were jealous of you, Scotty.
I think there was a wee touch of the green-eyed monster there.
There you are. I wonder. Anyway.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because if they're trolling me, they're leaving some other poor soul alone. I'm going to have to dash from the TikTokers. I love my TikTokers. DINKY-DOO.
I'm saying I'm trying to hurry up and chase you away because you forget it's 10 o'clock.
I'll chase you away. Stick out your tongue and say ta-ta.
At 10 o'clock you have to go.
Ta-ta. That's enough to heat. And I can tell you, folks, we are going to have to dash. We're out of time. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to the beautiful TikTokers. Thank you to all you beautiful YouTubers. And thank you for your very, very kind donations. Thank you to Susan for her £3. Very, very good of her. And join us next Saturday, God willing, weather permitting, at the same time, Till then, this is Scottie McClue saying dinky-doo to every single one of you. Stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Ta-ta.